John Wick was never looking for revenge. He was looking for peace. Once he was known as the most feared man in the underground world, a professional assassin with unmatched focus, discipline, and skill. People didn't talk about him loudly. They whispered his name with fear. But all of that ended when he met Helen. For love, John Wick walked away from violence. He left behind a life filled with darkness and chose a simple, peaceful existence. He became a husband, a man who finally believed his past was over. When Helen passed away, she left John one final gift, a puppy, not just a dog, but a symbol of hope, a reminder that even after loss, life still had meaning. For John, that puppy was never about weakness. It was about healing. But peace is fragile, and the past has a way of knocking when you least expect it. One careless act shattered everything John had rebuilt, not because of anger, but because of what that act represented. It reminded the world of who John Wick once was. And more importantly, it reminded John himself. What makes John Wick different is not rage. It is control. He doesn't fight because he enjoys violence. He fights because he is forced to confront a world that refuses to let him go. Every move he makes is calculated. Every step is precise. There is no chaos, only discipline. John Wick doesn't speak much because he doesn't need to. His silence tells a story of pain, loss, and restraint. A man constantly holding back the storm inside him. As the world around him descends into chaos, John remains calm. Not because he feels nothing, but because he feels too much. He understands consequences. He understands loyalty. And above all, he understands choice. John Wick is not a hero, and he is not a villain. He is a man shaped by his decisions. In a world filled with noise, John Wick represents focus. In a world obsessed with power, he represents control. In a world driven by hatred, he represents restraint. That is why his story resonates with millions, not because of the action, not because of the fights, but because deep down, John Wick is a story about a man who only wanted to live quietly, but was never allowed to forget who he used to be. And sometimes the most dangerous person is not the one who seeks violence, but the one who tried to leave it behind.